Hello and thank you for joining us right here on Luntha Television. It's time for news. Enjoy with me, Jacqueline Saidi. First, the highlights. Pope Leo XIV urges the faithful to turn to God for meaning and hope. High Court guides Kabambi to approach Parliament for state proceedings in $350 million misreporting case. Economic expert urges Malawi to boost production to curb inflation. And in other news, Israel kills dozens across Gaza, stops aid distribution for whole day. We have these and more reports. Stay with us. Pope Leo XIV has reminded the faithful that God waits with open arms, ready to give meaning and hope to their lives. During his weekly general audience, the Pope emphasized that God's mercy is immense and that he wants to give everyone a full, eternal, and joyful life. We have more details in this Vatican News report, which is being read by Tandiwe Mzumara.
Pope Leo XIV reflected on Jesus' parable of the workers of the last hour, highlighting the landowner's generosity in giving the same wage to all workers, regardless of when they started working. The Pope noted that God's justice is not just about merit, but also about need and dignity. He addressed young people, encouraging them not to delay in responding to God's call, adding that God will offer them meaning in life and never disappoint. Pope Leo XIV stressed that working in God's vineyard will help individuals find an answer to the deep question of the meaning of life. He concluded by urging the faithful to not be discouraged even in dark moments and to ask the Lord to come out and meet them where they are waiting.
The Catholic Development Commission in Malawi, CADCOM, has donated assorted items worth 3.5 million kwacha to Mzuzu prison. After the donation, Patricia Kaonga, who is the National Programs Coordinator for CADCOM, emphasized that the organization's mission is to empower communities across the country. Patrick Pupa is in Mzuzu and has filed this report.
The Catholic Development Commission in Malawi, CADCOM, has donated assorted items including sugar, soap, cooking oil, salt, just to mention a few, worth 3.5 million kwacha to Mzuzu prison as part of its Jubilee celebration under the theme of Pilgrims of Hope. During the celebration, CADCOM held a mass service with the prisoners, providing spiritual support and hope to the inmates. According to Patricia Kaonga, who is the National Programs Coordinator for CADCOM, this gesture reflects the organization's commitment to serving others.
As CADCOM, we are celebrating the Jubilee year, and the focus for this year is for us to bring hope to people who are marginalized, bring hope to others, to show unity as Christians. So we thought it wise to visit the inmates and also offer them some support, give them hope that this is not the end of the world, but they should have hope as Christians or as believers.
After receiving the donation, Sub-Inspector Austin Mwasangare, Public Relations Officer for the Northern Region Prison, expressed excitement, saying they are grateful for the donation, which will go a long way in supporting the inmates.
We have seen bales of sugar, soap. These are basic needs that are needed to a human being. So we appreciate a lot as prison for the donation that they have donated to us today. We request the community to say, for those who can afford to donate to prison, they are most welcome.
The donation was followed by a significant event at the Jesuit Center for Ecology and Development, JESED, celebrated its 10th anniversary with a big walk under the letter of Laudato Si. Martha Perry is the national coordinator for GESED and was part of the celebration.
Indeed, today we had this green walk as a part of celebration in commemorating the 10th anniversary of Laudato Si. So it's been 10 years already since the Pope Francis himself he issued the encyclical letter called Laudato Si, which is calling us all to care for our common home.
These acts of kindness demonstrate CADICOM's commitment to serving others and spreading hope during their Jubilee Year celebration. For Luntha News in Mzuzu, this is Pat Ripupa.
The second accused person in the $350 million misreporting case, Dalito Kabambe, has been directed by the High Court Financial Crimes Division to apply before Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament to direct Director of Public Prosecutions to stay the proceedings pending committee's decision on Kabambe's earlier discriminatory prosecution complaint before the committee. The presiding judge, Professor Redson Kapindu, made the direction in a ruling that denied the accused application to stay the proceedings pending the legal affairs decision. Earlier, the court directed the state to explain further count one of the charges in relation to the third accused person, former Secretary to Treasury Cliff Chonda. Robert Edward reports.
On Wednesday, Financial Crimes Division of the High Court in Lilongwe heard applications and objections to the charges from the second and third accused persons, Dr. Dalito Kabambe and Cliff Chonda, respectively, in a $350 million misreporting case. Kabambe, through his lawyer Faustino Maere, wants clarification of the particulars of the counts in the charge sheet and production of disclosures. So too with Chonda, who through his lawyer Karekeni Kapare succeeded in having the court direct the state to work on the language in the conspiracy count 1, and that the state should collaborate with the defense to order MDAs to produce the needed disclosures through the court.
Only Dr. Kabambe and a few other people have been charged with offenses pertaining to decisions made by the board of the Reserve Bank of Malawi. And we are saying that violates the right to equality before the law. If a group of people make a decision together, then if it is a criminal in nature, then all of them should be held responsible. But the choice to choose a few out of the several people in that board is what is questionable.
We want to come to the court with all the documents that we know exist, that we know the state hasn't brought to court, disclosed and brought to court. And there are quite a number of them, around about 7 or 11 documents that we want them to bring to court. Those documents are going to assist us in defending Mr. Chonda.
In his reaction, state lawyer Kamdonia Suru agreed with the court on its denial to grant stay to Kabambe pending Legal Affairs Committee's decision.
Where the third accused, Mr. Chonda, is involved with expending public money without parliamentary appropriation. Now the defense, they claim that the money was used for treasury bills. So the court wanted to know whether when we say expend money, in what form. Since they are claiming it's treasury bills, we are claiming that this money was government loan for a project, for substantive projects, Kamuzu International and Electoral Road and others.
Maere has since indicated that they will approach Legal Affairs Committee to direct the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, as guided in the ruling by the court. The matter has since been adjourned to a date to be communicated for further directions. For Luntha, this is Robert Edward.
Economic expert Dr. Felix Lombe has urged Malawi to intensify local production efforts as a long-term solution to the country's persistent inflation challenges. His remarks follow the release of the Reserve Bank of Malawi's April 2025 Market Intelligence Report, which shows a slight drop in inflation from 30.5% to 29.2%. Dr. Lombe welcomed the decline but cautioned that the current drop is seasonal and not sustainable. We have more in this report, which has been filed by Gift Kalonga.
Dr. Lombe said that it is very important for Malawi to concentrate on local production because that's the only way of dealing with the inflation problem. He also said that the inflation decline is not sustainable because Malawi's food is very expensive, meaning that the inflation cannot be stable. As a result, people will continue suffering.
We were on the higher side compared to other countries, especially because we don't produce much, or we have not been able to produce much over the years. And when you are not producing enough, you need to take the cereals, that's the maize and other food-related items, you create an excessive demand versus a supply. Therefore, you will always have this, persistent inflation for some time. Now, I must say that the reduction in the inflation is really very interesting, and perhaps it is very important to read that with some caution, because inflation is basically an average of key commodity or key prices.
Reserve Bank of Malawi's April 2025 Market Intelligence Report shows that Malawi's inflation rate has reduced slightly from 30.5% to 29.2%. The central bank stated that the decline of inflation rate is due to the harvest season which the country is in. The report also shows that Malawi is among countries in the sub-Saharan African countries with the highest inflation rate compared to countries such as Botswana with 2.3%, Tanzania with 3.2%, while Malawi's closest neighbor, Zambia, has 16.5%. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
Remember, you're still watching news coming to you live from Bishop Nevi Media Center, and you can also catch us on our YouTube page on Luntha TV and Facebook on Luntha Television. We'll be back with more after the break.
Mufuna mwana wononkazi yaphunzira maphunziro pamwamba ndi otyakuka ngati yankhulano lili eya a Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Girls Secondary School kunamwera kumangochi akuziwisa makolo ndi ena onse za mayeso okalembera mu Form 1 ndi 3 omwe azachitike pa 14 June 2025 kumalo awa. Luntha St. Maria Goretti Primary School, Nchewu Sacramentini Sisters Hall, Neno Lusungwi Parish, Dzundu School, Lilongwe, Maula Cathedral, Mangochi Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Girls Secondary School kunamwera. Maphunziro omwe azalembedwe pa tsikuli ndi awa: English, General Science ndi General Paper. Malo onsewa nthawi yoyambira ndi 8 o'clock mmawa. Ndipo pa tsikuli zofunika kutenga ndi umboni oti mwalipira application fee yomwe ndi 15,000 kwacha yokha basi, yomwe ikalipiridwe kuzera ku National Bank of Malawi account number 600164 kapena ku FDH account number 1270000021057. Cholembera cha black, penso ndi lula. Mukafuna kudziwa zambiri ayimbireni foni pa 0999 108 204 kapena pa 0981 333 009 ndinso pa 0986 769 601. Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Girls Secondary School. Dig, drink and wash.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, know that it's news time right here on Luntha Television. Now here's a recap of our headlines. Pope Leo XIV urges the faithful to turn to God for meaning and hope. High Court guides Kabambi to approach Parliament for state proceedings in $350 million misreporting case. Economic expert urges Malawi to boost production to curb inflation. And in other news, Israel kills dozens across Gaza, stops aid distribution for hot day. Moving forward, the head of planning at the Ministry of Energy, Chris Chizonga, has emphasized the need to allow companies to generate their own electricity, stating that this move is vital for improving energy access across the country. He made the remarks on Tuesday in Lilongwe during a national energy policy validation workshop which brought together stakeholders and experts to review the country's energy framework. Bridget Monoka reports.
The proposal by Chris Chizonga comes at a time when Malawi is actively seeking innovative solutions to expand electricity access across the country. Chizonga expressed optimism that allowing companies to generate their own power could play a significant role in achieving this goal. He also voiced confidence that Malawi is on track to meet its target of 70% electricity access by 2030, noting that ongoing reforms and increased investment in the energy sector are key drivers of this progress.
In terms of generational target by 2030, we would want to achieve roughly around 1,400 megawatts, meaning that we are going to add around 800 something megawatts, but the majority of which, around 700 megawatts, we anticipate to be generated by the independent power producers through off-grid solutions like solar home systems and others, mini grids and others. In terms of the target for 2030, in line with our National Energy Compact, the target is to reach 70% electricity access by 2030. That is by reaching 30% through grid connection, and the remaining 40% achieving it through off-grid solutions.
A representative of the Center for Petroleum and Customized Solutions, Dr. David Jacobs, emphasized that wind and battery energy have strong potential to cut electricity costs and increase access to power in the country.
A lot of new trends in energy policy and energy technology, and one of the most important trends is that the cost of solar PV, wind energy, of renewable energies, and battery energy storage have come down considerably. So this is a big opportunity for all citizens around the world, for all citizens of Malawi, for residential, commercial, and industrial consumers, to self-produce some of the electricity themselves, and therefore have cheaper electricity and cheaper energy prices. So it will benefit all of the citizens in Malawi.
It was also highlighted that the falling cost of renewable energy technologies, including wind and battery storage, offer Malawi a valuable opportunity to expand energy access by taking advantage of these developments. At present, only 25.9% of the population has access to electricity, but authorities are working toward increasing this figure to 70% by the year 2030. Bridget Mwanoka, follow the news.
As the country moves towards the general elections slated for September this year, gender equality advocate Maggie Katewera-Banda has called on women across Malawi to rally behind female aspirants vying for political offices. The move is aimed at promoting equal gender representation in leadership and governance. Katewera-Banda notes that Malawi continues to strive towards the 50-50 gender parity target in politics and decision-making positions, particularly in parliament and local government councils. We have a report by Rosemary Chikaunda.
The participation of women in politics has increased from 16% rate to 23% rate in 2019 elections. And this year, women are being encouraged to participate in the upcoming elections and to support their fellow women who are expected to run for different offices in the upcoming elections. Gender rights activist Maggie Katewera-Banda has called on women not only to participate in the elections, but to also actively support and vote for fellow women candidates. She emphasizes that increased female solidarity can play a critical role in breaking barriers that have long hindered women's full participation in the political arena.
Yeah, so my advice to those that are contesting is that they should make sure that they prepare very well for elections, meaning to say that they need to put up effective campaigns so that they can convince voters to vote for them. They should not give up. They should go ahead. As they started, they should also finish the same way. But the women out there that are voters, I'm encouraging them to vote for their fellow women.
Banda further urged political parties and communities to create safe and enabling environments for female candidates. She condemns acts of political violence and intimidation, particularly those targeting women, and appealed to all stakeholders to respect women's rights during both the campaign and voting period. For Luntha News, this is Rosemary Chikawa.
Lastly, in international news, at least 26 Palestinians have been killed in intense overnight air attacks carried out by the Israeli army across Gaza, with the majority of the killings reported in Khan Yunis, Gaza City, and Jabalia. Earlier, Israeli military warned starving Palestinians in Gaza against approaching roads to the US-backed aid distribution sites run by the controversial Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which will be closed for a whole day for renovations, reorganization, and efficiency improvement work. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation suspended aid distribution in the war-torn territory due to escalating violence. Tandwem Zumara reading a BBC News report.
On the 3rd of June 2025, Israeli forces killed at least 27 civilians and injured 161 more near the distribution center in Rafah. Since May 27th, over 100 Palestinians have been killed and numerous others injured while seeking aid at GVA. Since May 27th, over 100 Palestinians have been killed and numerous others injured while seeking aid at GHF distribution centers. The United Nations has condemned the violence, highlighting concerns about the safety of civilians seeking humanitarian assistance. The situation in Gaza highlights the growing desperation and urgent need for humanitarian assistance. The region has been plagued by conflict, resulting in significant challenges in delivering aid to those in need. Women and children living in tents are among the most vulnerable, relying on aid organizations for basic necessities like food. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, backed by the United States and Israel, began operations on May 27, 2025, However, the aid distribution process has been marred by violence, sparking international concerns about the safety and efficacy of the aid efforts.
With our report, we conclude the bulletin, but before we go, here's a reminder of the headlines. Pope Leo XIV urges the faithful to turn to God for meaning and hope. High Court guides Kabambi to approach Parliament for state proceedings in $350 million misreporting case. Economic expert urges Malawi to boost production to curb inflation. And in other news, Israel kills dozens across Gaza, stops aid distribution for hot day. You have been with me, Jacqueline Saidi. Thank you very much for watching Luntha TV, and stay safe.